There's only one road in and one road out of Breezy Point, the most remote section of New York City, and probably the hardest hit by Hurricane Sandy.
I know I didn't fully grasp it until I got here. I heard news reports and I just was like, oh, it's a bad hurricane. It was a 2-day kind of process to get me really accustomed to really what's going on out here.
Dakota Derringer is one of hundreds of volunteers who have been working these past 3 months in this devastated community on the western tip of the Rockaway Peninsula. In addition to all of the homes being flooded, over 100 homes in Breezy Point burnt to the ground the night of the storm.
We kind of rolled up our sleeves and decided there was only one way that Breezy was going to get better, and that was by doing something.
It's been estimated the volunteers have already completed $2 million worth of free labor repairing homes and businesses in Breezy Point.
In 1 year, I want everybody in their home. New York can make that happen. We can make that happen.
But a recent proposal from Governor Cuomo calls into question whether that expectation is realistic.
There are some parcels that Mother Nature owns. She may only visit once every few years, but she owns the parcel. And when she comes to visit, she visits.
The governor is proposing the Recreate New York Home Buyout Program. That would allocate $400 million of federal disaster relief funding to purchase homes and properties destroyed by the hurricane. Homeowners would get the full value of their home before the storm. The land would then be preserved as parkland or turned into a natural coastal barrier.
We want to run a program that will provide the funds to buy out those homeowners who don't want to rebuild and want to move on to higher ground, literally, and that would be smart.
The buyout plan needs approval from the Federal Housing Authority before it's passed. The decision to rebuild or retreat is weighing heavily on low-lying areas like Breezy Point.
No one's going to sell their house down here to the government.
Lifelong Breezy Point resident and volunteer firefighter Tim Duffy knows firsthand just how powerful Sandy's wrath was. He says it's not scaring his neighbors away from the place they call home.
Down here, I think we could lift the houses. You know, the water comes in, the water goes out.
Governor Cuomo and experts say climate change is the main reason to rethink some of New York's coastal development. But Duffy is optimistic.
This is hopefully a 100-year storm.
Many of the volunteer firefighters lost their homes to Sandy and are still living at the firehouse.
When there's a call, the siren goes off on the roof, and you have a radio at home that will go off and will say there's a fire at, X and whatever address.
And that's exactly what happened. The Point Breeze Volunteer Fire Department represents the tightness of the community. Homes here usually stay within the family rather than being sold.
Everyone wants to rebuild here if they can, if they have the money to. And if not, maybe their children will buy the house or another family member will buy the house.
This is one of the largest intergenerational communities that I've ever seen in the New York area. Now, the hurricane hit and your home is damaged, but you don't want to rip everything out of here. The flip side, if the amount of money that people are going to have to raise and whether they have that money or not to do that.
If an entire block of homeowners agree to sell, they could get more money, which could put pressure on some residents reluctant to leave. As the ultimate fate of flood zone communities is still being debated in Albany, the volunteers in Breezy Point aren't putting their tools down anytime soon. McGowan, Columbia TV News.